yesterday, at the beginning of the week, we genned up 2 awesome characters. And I'm going to just let you know if I get cozy. Yep, that's fine, Dark Wolf. That's fine. Oh, shoot. You know what? Dark Wolf, speaking of which, Dark Wolf had made character sketches, and that was the one thing I had forgotten to do, was upload. Here we go. Our gnome cleric and our half drow monk / bard multi-class character. And Eltrion, since you're here, if you wanted to talk a little bit about your tiefling gulag here, you're welcome to do so. That's if I don't get bored of all these book talk and just off the goblin. Alright, so as the music indicates, we're on a journey. We're going to begin this journey with a percentile roll. Yeah, the cleric, he's a really good concept. 26, we have a female character. And she belongs to the race of 7. Ooh, we have another half-elf. Okay. Now, I'm going to roll this again so we can determine, does she favor her human side more or her elven side more? And that could be in appearance, genetics, the shape of her face, eyes, or ears, or her demeanor. 4. All right, that is evens. And so she is also favoring her elven side. Rightel says, I, the player, love goblins. My character would probably off them too. So... You did get to do a fun voice? That's awesome. What level is she? We're going to roll a percentile. Or, I'm sorry, not a level. Alignment. Alignment. 2 percentile die. 58 and 34. She is lawful neutral. Now we will determine. A level on a percentile roll. 8. Alright, she is level 4. And I'm going to roll this again to determine if we take the ASI, or the ability score improvement, / stat bump, or if she's going to take a feat. 87, she's going to take a feat. There we go. Excellent. Good progress. 13-sided die to determine her background. 11. 11, she is a sailor / pirate. The Goblin Song. Goblins chew and goblins bite, goblins cut and goblins fight. Stab the dog and cut the horse, goblins eat and take by force. Goblins race and goblins jump, goblins slash and goblins bump. Burn the skin and mash the head, goblins hear and you be dead. Chase the baby, catch the pup, bonk the head to shut it up. Bones be cracked, flesh be stewed, we be goblins, you be food. Very good, Bubonic. Yep. In fact, We Be Goblins is a rather popular mod for module for Pathfinder. Albarin and the goblin started talking about books, so I got bored and about to see if the goblin can survive a trap. All right, so we can either take sailor or pirate as her background, and ship's passage or bad reputation. Let's develop her personality a little bit more, and then we'll lock these in. There's no origin, per se, for sailor. I mean, if you want to argue pirate as an alternative. That means that we're going to get the standard 2d8 for personality traits. Let's roll it. 8 and 6. As well as 3d6 to finish out her ideals, bonds, and flaws. 3, 5, 3. Now we can determine which class she is. What do those numbers mean? Forget about it. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. We'll come back to it. Big golden button D12, and it's going to land on 8. A ranger. Rangers get not just an archetype here for are they a hunter or a beastmaster. They also are going to get a fighting style, and they're going to get a favored terrain. So we're going to do one thing at a time. First up, we're going to roll odds or evens for hunter or beastmaster. 2 evens, that's going to be a beastmaster. Dave, thank you so much for that subscription. That means a lot to me. And especially, given the circumstances you were talking about last night, I am very happy that all of us here can help you feel better, hopefully recover, get some good laughs in, get the old, your neurons firing, and really give you a nice zest for role-playing and storytelling. Yep, we have a companion, people. That means we could use the coveted 4th page. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go, companion page. Yeah, thank you very much, Dave. Dark Wolf, can you give Nebraska Dave and a woo for me, please? Okay, now our Ranger's fighting style is going to be a 1d4. Here we go. 4. He is going to be a 2-weapon fighter. Woo, yeah. There you go, Dave. You've been blessed by an awoo. And his favorite terrain here, we're going to roll on a d8. Also 4. Arctic, coast, desert, and forest it is. We're going to make notes, because these are going to be tied to abilities. Alright, a little bit more random number generation, and we will be finished with this. We have a half-elf. Right here. As you can see, they start at 4'9", and we're going to add 2d8 inches to her height. We're adding 5 inches to her. So that is going to be 5'2". We're taking the same 5, and we are going to multiply it by 2d4 inches and add it to the base of 110. 7, so that's 35. See, she is 145 pounds. Now, let's find out how old she is. That's going to be a percentile roll. 80. So she is going to be middle-aged. And, as we can see here, this is column 4. Dun, dun, dun. We cross-reference that with the row of half-elf. She's between 91 and 125 years old. That is going to be a 35-sided die. 31. So if that starts at 91, so that is going to be 121 years old. Very good. We did it. Now, we can go through and cosmetically say how we did for Nolan up here. How he was a half-elf, but as we were making him, we decided, well, here we have, he's a half-delf, or a dark elf, or a drow. If we wanted to, we can say, you know, that for flavor's sake, we could make her a half-wood elf. So a half-welf, or a half-health. As a high elf, that, I mean, we're not getting a mechanical benefit, but if there's something maybe cosmetic, especially because she's favoring her elven heritage more, either with her appearance and genetics or with her personality and the way she carries herself, we can flavor things that way about which kind of elf her half is. Okay, this gets minimized. Make that a little bigger there. There we go. We are going to begin with her background because I think we're going to be able to get a lot more out of starting there than through the traditional means of her race, class, etc. She is a sailor and or pirate. She is a pirate. Hermit, noble, outlander, sage, and there we go, sailor. Being a sailor is going to give her proficiency in athletics and perception. She will become proficient with navigator's tools and vehicles. Water. There we go. She'll be given a club. And in her backpack, she'll get silk rope 50 feet, a lucky charm, which will be trinket number something, common clothes, and a belt pouch containing 10 gold. Alright, Eltrion, no problem. You had to mute because of a phone call at work, night phone tech support. Oh, gotcha. That's really cool, though, Dave. I like to contribute to those who provide a service like you do. Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. If you muted, well, I'm repeating what I was going through, that I'm very happy that we're able to stimulate your mind and to give you, you know, a breath of fresh air. Especially when you introduced yourself when we first met, you said that you were quite a well-seasoned D&D player. And if you're finding joy and entertainment in this, in finding these new ideas and being among so many other initiates to role-playing and or D&D, you know, we have a lot of fresh ideas. And if it's even inspiring someone who's probably seen and played through way more than I have and others even combined, that means a lot to me. And Dark Wolf was very happy, and she gave you a woo to you in joy. And Bubonic One, who is also quite a veteran D&D player himself, chipped in with a woohoo. Being in Cleveland, I'm not in Cleveland, but being by Cleveland, of course, we have the Cleveland Indians, and their mascot is Chief Wahoo. Although I don't know for how much longer that's going to be around. From what I recall, they're trying to move away from that. Anyway, I don't want to start a conversation about that. That's a side point. Honestly, you're doing what I'd hoped to do a few years ago with your own Twitch channel until life intervened. Well, Dave, if I'm carrying a torch of sorts for you, that makes me want to make sure that you know, I'm doing it well, and that I'm treating it with the joy and the friendship and the respect that that kind of a position deserves. All right, we have our two background features. Either she can help secure passage on ships, or, you know, Dark Wolf, because you're talking about an investigator, you could very easily say that a sailor, you could have be as a wagon driver or a teamster of some kind. So, right, you travel all around, and maybe you'd switch vehicles, water to vehicles, land. And if you don't, you could still use navigator's tools, or if you want, you could say cartographer's tools. But you would still get the perception and the athletics because you're hauling cargo in wagons across the land. Something along those lines. Oh, that's a very specific date, Bubonic. So that begs the question, what happened on that day that is so vivid in your mind? That's when I was born, Dorgrim. Yay! You found your brother's Red Box Basic set the day after Easter? Oh, wow. Wow. All right, so Dave's beard among us all, because whether you're a male D&D player or female D&D player, you know your growth in years is measured by either the length or the grayness of your beard, and we hail Nebraska Dave's beard. His beard is the longest. Oh my! So even more controversial, Dave. And especially, I mean, a Methodist church generally, again, I'm not trying to stir a hornet's nest, has a reputation of being a very conservative church. I don't know if it's necessarily hellfire and brimstone preaching on the corner, but from at least around others who've been a part of that church, it's very like, we watched black and white TV because color TV was a tool of the devil kind of a thing. I'm not bashing on faith. You all have your own childhood experiences or your adult ones. Some of you may be very full of faith of some religion. That's perfectly fine. Others of you may choose to not pursue that route. That's your own. But I mean, just going off my own personal recollections of what you're of what you're saying, Dave. Okay, I'm not too far off. No, you're Methodist. They ain't nothing compared to your sister. Oh, Pentecostal. Yes, I've heard things about that too. I mean, if you go in something as a lady and you show ankle, that's, I mean, they're not going to stone you to death or anything, but that's the controversy that everyone talks about at the Sunday brunch or something. You know, the Johnson's daughter, she actually wore a skirt that showed her ankle, and you're like, well. Alright, Tom, my first D&D experience was playing 3-5 with your Bible study group. So, hey, not the only one. Oh, no, that is, you're correct. Nope, there are a lot of churches that accept it. And there's even D&D players who have incorporated their faith into D&D instead of a pantheon. Still, I tell the story of my first character dying in his first encounter, but that hooked me. Her mother used to beat her for saying a mildly bad word. Oh my. You sometimes hear, stories coming out of Amish land. I mean, because look, I'm in Ohio. They don't live up way north on the lake here, but they a little further into like the central Ohio. Where they'll like stick a pin, like if the daughter cusses or says something, blasphemous or whatever. The mother will have the daughter or the son like stick their tongue out, and they'll take a pin and poke the tongue with a pin to correct the behavior or something like that. Now look, hashtag not all Amish, hashtag not all Pentecostals, hashtag not all Methodists, but things, we experience different cultures, even though we may share other similarities. I am 2 hours north of that, Dave. I live in Sandusky, Ohio. Or as a lot of people know it, Cedar Point, if that helps any. Okay, the personality traits for our sailor are 8 and 6. I like a job well done, especially if I can convince someone else to do it. Kind of a Tom Sawyer approach. Though she's not afraid of doing it herself, she would just like to be sly and see if someone else will. And number 6, I never pass up a friendly wager. Oh, you've been going to Origins a few times. Yeah. I do make it down there on occasion. I mean, Origins will be coming up. That is a very large trade show. Do you go just to attend, Dave? Or have you, like, are you a part of any groups that run content? Are you a GM of some kind there? You have a fair number of Amish and Mennonite here. Yep, Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio. Oh yeah, and speaking of Cedar Point, our Dark Wolf herself does work at Cedar Point, and it'll open on weekends until probably June-ish or so. Her ideal is number 3. Freedom. The sea is freedom. The freedom to go anywhere and do anything. Just because she's lawful neutral does not mean she still can't have this sense of wanting to enjoy what's on the horizon. Mantarok. The runes have been placed. You have been summoned. Welcome. You ran events for FanPro a few years ago. They had the Shadowrun license at the time. Oh, okay. And Shadowrun, you know, I've not played in a Shadowrun game, though I'm familiar with it. That's really neat that you did get to run kind of a cyberpunk D&D, for an abbreviation. KOP works in the park. She's going to have it 25... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're not on site. And you know what? I did 5 tours of Cedar Point myself. If any of you are veterans there, hopefully you appreciate the tongue-in-cheek humor. I did 5 tours of Cedar Point myself at the end of high school and through undergrad. That was a lot of fun, and you know what? That helped set me up for a lot of what I'm doing today. Rytel did 2 tours, so we have some veterans of Cedar Point in here. Bonds number 5. I was cheated out of my fair share of the profits, and I want to get my due. And I say that with due respect because I really enjoyed my time there. Getting to meet the international employees and having them teach me bad words in their languages was amazing. Plus, just sharing stories. And not only hearing about their countries, but helping to show off and explain ours. You know, seeing different points of view. And of course, you meet a ton of different people. I worked in games. And it was a lot of fun. We kind of came up with our own thieves' cant. To use a D&D reference. It was very interesting times. You know, you get the old classic. People will ask you, when's the 10 o'clock laser light show? And but you also get a lot of good stories too. Not just, you know, those guys or whatever. Honestly, summer at the arcade's pretty easy, especially day shifts. Oh yeah, because a lot of people are at the park during the day. Yeah, until it rains. Bubonic, I'm going to visit the Kirkheimer mine later this month, hoping to get a nice crystal geode. Nice. And some cubic zirconia. If you do take pictures, Bubonic, I'd love to see that. Rytel, you worked there last summer. Honestly, it's only crazy if it's a Saturday night and it's raining. Dorgrim, I really want to run the Shadowrun system, but it's too much like 3.x Pathfinder. Too much crunchy bits. I have this dream of making a 5e conversion at some point. Ooh. That would be interesting. Because I know people work on, like, far sci-fi for 5th edition, but something like a near-future kind of cyberpunk system, I don't know if... I mean, maybe on Kickstarter or something. But certainly, Dorgrim, I mean, as you're working on that, you know you could bounce ideas off us if we can help you with that to achieve success. Let us know. Bubonic says, big pieces of cubic zirconia can fetch $500 for a $15 entry fee. Oh, is that one of those places where you can just sort of like, are you filtering, is the water kind of running through the mine and you get to filter gems out of it? Not panhandling, prospecting. Or do they just give you a pickaxe and say, hey, go to town, you got like an hour in the mine, wear a dust mask, and come out with whatever you got? All right, next up, we have her Flaw. because we are all flawed creatures. Once someone questions my courage, I never back down, no matter how dangerous the situation. Ooh. So she has a very daring-do attitude. Pathfinder 2 playtest is coming out in August. They're doing some good changes to the crunchies. Yes, hopefully so. I think many have moved on and beyond. I'm not saying Pathfinder's a bad system, but you can get bogged down in mechanics in various systems. I enjoyed playing Rifts, R-I-F-T-S, Rifts. But if you look at that character sheet and you look at the rulebook, ooh, ooh. Ooh. It's a pick and shovel type mine. Ah, very cool. All right, that is our background. Now let's go up to races and half-elf. We are going to get an increased charisma of 2. We're going to get 1 extra in something else, and being a... If we are going a 2-weapon... If we're going a 2-weapon ranger, that probably would want to be... Well, strength or dex? Strength or dex? I'm going to put it tentatively in strength for now, and if we need to, we'll swap it to dex. We have age and alignment. Size, we are medium. We are med. We also get 60 feet of dark vision, as indicated in the eyeball up here. Our walking speed is 30 feet, giving us a 15 climb and a 15 swim and a 0 fly. We are not fly at all. We need to work on our game. We do receive Fey Ancestry. This is going to give us advantage versus Charmed. We are also going to get 2 skills from Half-Elf. We'll choose those in a little bit here. Languages, we will receive Common, Elven, and question mark, question mark, question mark. Excellent. We're moving right along. Now we have our classes. Here's Ranger. First 4 levels is what we're looking at here. The small pieces lay on the ground. You want geodes, you need to smack at the rock formations. Dorgrim says, Bubonic 1, I like 5e. I've pretty much moved away from 3.x/Pathfinder or similar systems. I figure if I want to play an insert genre here, I'll use 5e as a base for it. It has been streamlined and is more elegant in that regard. I mean, I totally get some people want very crunch-heavy, splat-book-heavy, because they love delving into the books. And I'm not saying min-maxing in a bad way, because that's a challenge in itself. But they love piecing together all of these other options that exist. Though I do like the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. You know, 4th edition did grow to be splat heavy. I really like it because it was kept simple, especially if you had access to the character building software that had everything in it. Or the DM software that would let you build any monster or take a goblin and scale it up to level 30 and it would work in the math. That was very elegant. I loved 4th edition. I still do, but 5th edition, that's what I play currently, and I appreciate the slimmed down system to it. Okay, Rangers are receiving D10 hit dice. We're level 4, so we have 4 total of them, and we've used 0. Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting way of doing things too, by budgeting your actions, Bubonic. We are going to receive light and medium armor proficiency and shield proficiency. We will have simple and martial weapon proficiencies. Our saving throw proficiencies are strength and dexterity. We're going to fill in the diamonds up here. Dark Wolf has given us another woo. What do your wolf senses tell us? Now we get to choose 3. 3, 3, 3. From animal handling, which you can still do as a sailor. There's nothing... you can have a dog. You can talk to the seagulls, kind of a thing. Insight. Investigation. Nature. Stealth. And survival. Now, while you all are considering which 3 that we're going to take, let's go over her personality, right? So she's lawful neutral. We haven't quite decided sailor or pirate or ship's passage or bad reputation, but this is her personality regardless. I like a job well done, especially if I can convince someone else to do it. I never pass up a friendly wager. Freedom. The sea is freedom. The freedom to go anywhere and do anything. Bonds. I was cheated out of my fair share of the profits, and I want to get my due. And flaws. Once someone questions my courage, I never back down, no matter how dangerous the situation. Dark Wolf says animal handling for pirates. Bubonic. Hey, Sotha. Sothalete. Good morning to you. Death Count seems to want to go for animal handling, nature, and survival. Insight to figure out how to manipulate people? Parrots, not pirates, yeah. Persuasion is... yeah, persuasion to manipulate. We can take some of these also as our half-elf. So I'm being open-minded here if we go... Persuasion to manipulate? Yeah, I can see that. I almost want to say investigation can support her bond and her flaw at the same time. So for a half-elf, if we went persuasion and investigation... then for her 3 ranger skills, she could get animal handling, especially being a beastmaster, animal handling, knowledge, nature, and survival. Does that look good to you all? And that would clear out that. She is highly likely the crew member they send on the islands to collect... oh, yeah, hey, that's a good idea, Bubonic. Very good idea. Alright, this is where we need to decide, is she a strength? She is going to take 2-weapon fighting, but you can do that with finesse weapons also. Is she going to take 2-weapon, or is she going to be a dex ranger? Or is she going to be a strength ranger? Because that will determine if we take scale mail or leather armor. Kruger, welcome! Yo! 2 short swords or 2 simple melee weapons. A Dungeoneer's pack or an explorer... well, maybe not so much that. And either way, we're going to get a longbow and quiver of 20 arrows. Though as a DM or as a PC, you could talk to your DM and say, hey, can I take something that's equivalent if I really want to go melee and I'm not too worried about ranged? Darkwolf's in a woo mood. So here, we'll just put some indicators. Scale or leather. And we're either going to get 2x, short sword, or simple melee. Probably an explorer's pack, given what she does. Venom Rage, good to see you. We are generating our third character for the adventure on Saturday. And then we will be given a longbow with a quiver, 20x arrows. Strength sounds better for 2-weapon? Yeah, we can do that. In that case, let's go to equipment real quick. I think short swords can be finesse. Yeah, finesse and light. So we can give her 2 short swords, or if we wanted, we can do... We could even give her something like a spear and something light in her offhand. Or no, 2-weapon fighting is going to allow us to not necessarily have to abide by that. Alright, well, I'm going to keep that as a floater here, and we're going to come back to that. We're not going to do her ability scores for a teeny tiny bit anyway. There's her equipment. Alright, she's going to get a favored enemy. Aberrations, beasts, celestials, etc. You have advantage on wisdom survival checks to track them. When you gain this feature, you also learn one language of your choice that is spoken by your favorite enemies, if they speak one at all. Orcs and humans? Oh, well, I don't know about orcs, bubonic, but why don't we say tieflings and humans? Right? The Empire's invading, and we know that there are privateers that sail the seas looking for Shadowhar Empire ships in order to hunt and sink. Maybe she's a privateer, and she knows how to hunt the 2 major races of that area. Yeah, it's the feat that removes it. Okay. I wanted to make sure. Yeah, 2-weapon. When you engage 2-weapon fighting, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the second attack. Okay, yeah, so we'll have to stick with something like the 2 short swords for right now. Oh, but she can take the feat. We can give her the 2-weapon fighting feat because well, hey, we rolled for it. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, technically, she'd be starting out before she could take the feat, but whatever. We'll give her 2 short swords. That is also then going to give her how to. She'll know how to speak Infernal. So there's her favorite enemy. She will be taking Natural Explorer. Forest. That's what we determined down here as her random biome. She gets her 2-weapon fighting style at 2. She'll also get some spell casting. Her archetype's at 3, and she will also get primeval awareness. And at level 4, she'll take her feat. There we go. She is going Beastmaster. That is going to give her Ranger's Companion. And that's all we're going to get from that for right now. Now, two-weapon fighting does seem like a very natural gift to give her in terms of a feat. That is going to allow her... Oh, where are you? Tough, Tavern... Oh, it might be Dual. Dual Wielder. You gain a +1 AC while you're wielding separate melee weapon. You can use two-weapon fighting even when the one-handed wielding isn't light. You can draw or stow 2 one-handed weapons at any point in time. So that seems like a natural fit. Though, given that, we can always default to give her dual wielder. Is there something else that you think might fit her personality? Again, let's look at it. I like a job well done, especially if I can convince someone else to do it, and I never pass up a friendly wager. Freedom, the sea is freedom, so she likes freedom. She likes travel. I was cheated out of my fair share of the profits, and I want to get my due. And once someone questions my courage, I never back down no matter how dangerous the situation. Alertness, so alert could be a good one for her. I was also thinking maybe Actor would be a good one for her too. Especially if she hunts humanoids. Actor could be very good. We get to increase our charisma by 1. You have advantage on deception and performance checks when trying to pass yourself off as a different person. You can mimic the speech of another person, the sounds made by creatures. You must, and by the way, the creatures is also good for a ranger. A successful wisdom insight check contested by your charisma deception check allows a listener to determine that that the effect is faked. Dorgrim thinks Actor. Any other opinions out there in chat? If you'd like, I can go through the other feats that are here. I mean, I'm not going to take Lucky because, again, anyone can take Lucky. Lucky is a solid feat that anyone can use. So if everyone can use it under any circumstance, then, you know, if you get something that exists on both sides of the equation, you remove it. Unless maybe we want to go skilled if we wanted to make her more skilled in something. Sharpshooter, I don't think she's going to really be ranged. She's going to be more melee. Mobile's okay. But you know what? She has an animal to be mobile. Dorgrim, I was thinking of trying to come up with something more of a roleplay feat that would fit in with her personality instead of going for combat mechanics. Yeah, I think, Actor, you and I were thinking similarly in that regard, Dorgrim. So Bubonic is thinking we go 15 strength, 10 dex, 12 con, 8 intelligence, 14 whiz, and 13 charisma. I I think if she's clever enough, I mean, I know it's granted it is a social-based skill. I would swap Dex with Int, or I would be happy switching these around, the 10, 12, and 8. Dex, Con, Int. I think her Int shouldn't be her dump stat. It doesn't have to be super de-duper awesome, but I don't think it should be her dump stat. You know, and I'm even fine if we gave her an 8 in Con, if we want to say roleplay reasons, because she took the job on the seas because she wants to hunt these people, and she did train in the woods. So maybe, you know, this represents her being queasy, a little off balance, or maybe there's just something. She's just is frail in constitution. I mean, mechanically, we can put the 8 in Dex because we're like, oh, well, herder, you know, she's going to be wearing armor. What does it matter? At the same time, though, if she is sailing, I think she should have some semblance of dexterity. Dorgrim wants to go Condump. And you see, this is something that maybe not a lot of players look at themselves doing. And I understand why. Having more hit points is usually a good thing. Now, we're a little bit insulated from that because we're rolling up not our characters. But this is something for you to consider as well. If you're playing a character that you feel should have a low con, do it. Be resourceful then. If your body's weak, make your mind sharp. Fight more intelligently. If we go 8, I almost want to go, yeah, 8, 12, 10 in this order. I think, I get what you were going for, Bubonic. I see her, though, as a character in who she is and what she's done. I see it more like this. Right? If she's a little weaker in constitution, if she gets other people to do the jobs for her, you know, she'll back them up. It's not that she's not an incapable fighter. She has more than reasonable strength. She just maybe gets winded easily or something along those lines. Maybe she has a little, like, always permanent, seasickness or something. If we do that, then we're going to add in our 1 to go 16 strength and 16 charisma. Plus 3 bonus. 2, 1, minus 1, 0 dex, and 3 strength. If she goes privateer, I mean, we can call her a pirate, or if you want, we can call her a privateer. Honestly, what's the difference between the two? One claims to have legal backing than the other. But this also means, though, she doesn't necessarily need to have a bad reputation. This could actually be a good place where we have a pirate who has ship's passage as a feature. This is going to make her, let's go back, level 4 ranger. Level 4, our proficiency bonus is 2. Now we can go through and start adding this in. So our saving throw is 5 and 5. We get 2 and then 0, 0, 0. So she's not good, not bad. Constitution saving throw, well, don't throw up around her because she might also throw up. 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 3 and 3. 2, 2, 2. 4, 4, 4. 3, 3, 3, 3, and 5. That was easy. Where's my staples button? Her initiative is going to be +0. And as not Dorgrim, but as Bubonic was pointing out, at first level, you get your maximum hit dice. After that, which is going to be 3 levels, right? Because she's 4th level. Her first she got maximum. 3, you get half +1, so that's going to be 6. And then this is going to be, well, in this case, we have 4 times -1. So this is going to be turning into a -4. This is turning into an 18. Therefore, this is a 14. And we have 24 hit points. With our melee attacks, we are going to get proficiency plus strength bonus, so +5. Same with the short swords. We can use dex, they're finesse. We get a choice. Longbow, however, we don't, and this is just going to be a +2. At level 4, we know 3 spells, and we get 3 first level slots. The DC is going to be, it is 8 plus the casting modifier, which is wisdom, so that's going to be 10, plus proficiency, there we go. And to get the attack, just subtract the 8 back out of it. There we go. And there's nothing really here. You know, we could put not available if you want. You can fill in all these with X's or leave them blank, whatever you'd like to do. Whatever makes it easier for you. Her passive perception is going to be a 14. 10 plus your perception modifier. We're going to be giving her scale mail then. Not worrying about the leather. She definitely has the strength for it. And she's fighting with 2 short swords. Let's go to Chapter 5. We look at the armor. And scale mail is 14 plus dex modifier max 2. So she is rocking a 14 currently. And then we can fill in a club is a 1d4 plus her strength modifier, so 1d4 plus 3. Short swords are 1d6 plus 3. Longbow is going to be 1d8 plus 0. We don't know any cantrips, but we will get 3 spells. Level 1. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, that's level 2. You get 2 of them. And that last one is the one we get at level 3. There we go. Spellcasting is off of wisdom. This was a 12. This was a +4. This was not applicable. There we go. Ranger. And we can go through and pick these. That's not a problem. Look, she's going to be picking spells that are going to tell her story. What is she picking up along the way? Why is she learning these ranger spells? They're kind of a diary of sorts, right? She has these spells. They're not permanently fixed because you can swap spells during level ups. But the ones that we go and give her completely at the end on the back end are going to tell her story. Where she's been, what she's done, what she finds to be the most useful. Clark says, turns out my yelling and screaming last night worked because the NHL actually did something to protect its players for once. Oh, what? Is this a new league rule, or did someone get in trouble for not enforcing something, Clark? Really, the last thing we need to do is come up with some kind of an animal companion for her. Did I go? Yeah, I went a little too far here. Beastmaster. Choose a beast that is no larger than medium and that has a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower. Maybe some kind of a... Yeah, you know, we might be able to do something, some kind of a bird, I was thinking, Dark Wolf. There's a bat. Eagle, so hawk or a falcon. There's an owl. There's a pseudo dragon. It is technically a dragon, not a beast. That could be an interesting one, though. A raven? A raven could be like a parrot. Mimicry. The raven can mimic simple sound it's heard, such as a person whispering, a baby crying, or an animal chittering. A creature that hears the sound can tell the imitations with a DC 10. So that could be a parrot, if we wanted to give her one. Yeah, like raven, I think could be parrot. Clark says, a player made a blatantly illegal play that resulted in a 3-game suspension. The entirety of the hockey world expected nothing based on the precedent the NHL has set in the past regarding suspensions. Oh, well, I'm glad they finally stepped up then. There is a sprite. Though I don't know, I don't know if, her having a sprite. I mean, again, it's not a beast. So that's up to the DM's discretion. I have a pet zombie. That's a 1/4. Do we want to have... is she going to be like Michonne from The Walking Dead? Do we want to give her pet zombies? Oh, we have to give our ranger a name. Hey, Derek, it's good to see you. All right, let's see. Armor class is 12. It has 1 hit point. Speed of 10. Ah. 10 feet of walk. 50 feet of fly. No swim, no climb, no burrow. It doesn't have blind sight. Now here, no blind sight, no dark vision, no tremor sense, no true sight. Currently getting your BattleTech on. Don't you wish the tabletop RPG of MechWarrior was more modernized for smoother play? Are you talking about the Clicks version, or are you talking about the old, like, pewter miniature version, Derek? It is skilled, or is proficient with perception, and it does have a passive perception of 13. No languages. There we go. It gets a beak attack. One piercing damage. Yay. And it doesn't have any immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities. You know, unless we choose to modify it as such. Initiative will be +2. Carrying capacity is going to not really be... I mean, if we do 15 times your score, that means that a crow could carry 30 pounds, but... I mean, if we want, we can say something like 2 pounds. Yes and no. I mean, MechWarrior, the original before the PC became involved, had its own RPG system. It's technically MechWarrior 1. Hey, Creeper. I could link a video what the guy did, but it's a brutal hit that makes direct contact to the head, leading to a broken jaw and a concussion. Oh, wow. Yeah, no wonder he's getting suspended. Jeez. That's, whew. And, I mean, given circumstances, Clark, I can doubly understand why you are very filled with rage about that. What kind of a mech did you build, Derek? Yeah, you know what? I think we have a, besides filling in her spells, we have a character. We just need to give her a name and a look of some kind. Oh, and the guy he hurt is one of your favorite players, too. Well, I don't know. I don't know if she'd be a half wood elf in this case. Given her demeanor and everything, I mean, yeah, she's a ranger, but given her sense of freedom and like getting other people to do what she likes, you know, if she's called out, she'll step up. I almost want to say if she's favoring her elven half, that she is half high elf. All right, I think we have character number 3. This is going to be a very interesting roster. A Tempest Cleric, a hybrid Monk Bard, and a Ranger Beastmaster. All right, I'm going to get up and take a break. You all do the same. Let's meet back in about 10 minutes or so, right? Think of a name that we want to give our ranger, and Bubonic wanted to call the parrot Polly. We could go with that if you'd like. Throw out some ideas if you'd like. If you have inspiration for who she is and the parrot that she brings with her. Current lance is a 2 Jaeger mechs and dragon and a grasshopper, so a surprisingly fast, heavy lance. Though I've always been a clanner at heart. Though, so from my vague recollection, those names are kind of meaning stuff to me, Derek. But let's just pretend I know what that means. And can you explain to everyone else what that indicates? Like what the type of fighting style or chassis is for those mechs? I'm going to get up and go AFK too. And, well, we'll be back and we'll make a map.